for Bring Your Own Lunch. Personal stories about the business with my daddy, Dave T. Koenig.
All right, come on in, have a seat. Welcome. This is the Bring Your Own Lunch podcast at BringYourOwnLunch.com, the magic of iTunes, the majesty of Stitcher, and however you found your way to download this podcast, I thank you. As you heard at the top, my name is Dave T. Koenig. I'm an actor, writer, director, producer, comedian, all-around swell dude. I'm not a doctor, but I play one in a web series. And of course, I'm the host of the podcast you're listening to right now. BYOL is the hashtag you can use if you want to reach out on social media. You can find us on Facebook.com/BringYourOwnLunch. You can follow us on Twitter at BYOL Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Bring Your Own Lunch. And if you really want to get down and dirty with us, you can always go to the home base, the mothership, if you will, BringYourOwnLunch.com for all the information about all the guests on this program, past, present, and presumably future. And you can send me a personal email, Dave@BringYourOwnLunch.com. I am a busy man these days, and I am glad and grateful to say that. Lots going on. I will detail in just a minute, but my guest this week is really awesome. Carmen Cabrera, an actor who has embraced the United States and made that her home. She got her start in Madrid, Spain, and it was fairly successful there, getting work, and then she has since broken through here in the U.S. with recent guest star roles on Forever on ABC and Law & Order SVU on NBC, and she also starred in, and I'm going to botch this, I apologize to anybody who is offended by my horrible, horrible pronunciation. You'll hear me talk about this with Carmen, but BYOL de TODAS, which more accurately translates, if you're saying it right, to I, the Worst of All, which won Best Short at the 31st Chicago Latino Film Festival in April this year. And she'll be appearing in an adaptation of the Spanish classical piece, here we go again, El Loro de Apalo, at Repertorio Español. That's 138 East 27th Street in New York City. That's in July. And I will have the details on all of that in the show notes for this episode. But Carmen is just a terrific, very cool, very nice person, and extremely talented. I met her, I think it was last year. I did a reading of a play written by Begonia Plaza, who in her own right was extremely kind to me. I had never met Begonia before, and she reached out to me through Facebook and offered me a chance to read in her play, which was a fantastic play about Salvador Dali and his wife Gala and all the things that were going on, all the interesting and fascinating and kind of crazy stuff that was going on in the art scene during Salvador Dali's day. So that was a great experience, and I'm always appreciative of Begonia for including me in that project. And one of the people I got to meet and perform with in that reading was Carmen Cabrera, and she and I have remained friends, and she's the kind of person I definitely wanted to have on this show. First of all, she's incredibly talented, and she's really starting to pick up steam in terms of success here in the U.S., but she has a unique background in that she got her start in another country, and she applied what she learned in her native country to the business here, and I find that fascinating, and I'm always interested in somebody who comes to New York from anywhere, but someone who decides to come from as far away as someplace like Spain and adapt what they know to what we do here. There's just so much material there that I kind of dove in, and you'll hear me very excitedly try to find the comparisons and contrasts between her experience in Spain and what she now knows as a fairly veteran member of the New York acting community. So I found that fascinating, and just the cultural differences and stuff like that. So it's a really cool conversation. We have a great time just picking our way through some of these differences and the similarities, and I learned a heck of a lot, especially my the earth-shattering revelations about pronunciations of things that I figured I knew going back to grade school. But as I have learned throughout the years, you learn something new every day. So I'm excited to have you listen in on the conversation I had with Carmen, and I hope you will enjoy. Meanwhile, I have been, like I said, running around like a mad person. Truth be told, I'm recording this on Thursday. Generally like to release the show on Wednesday, so a little bit late. But when you are busy, you make adjustments, and that's what I'm doing. I've been cast in a feature film, a small part, but it's got amazing people involved. I can't. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell you a lot now. I'm shooting it at the end of the month, so soon enough, it will be fact and certainly not just rumor. But I'm not going to say too much now. And as soon as I know and I'm comfortable with the idea of sharing more information, I certainly will with you. But in the meantime, just know that's there. And I had a very cool experience where the director of this film, who has worked with some really amazing people, called my phone just to thank me for taking the part. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Thank you. And I kind of stumbled over all my words. And I know I'm not exactly 100% perfect shooting from the hip when I do this part of the show, and certainly not during the interview. But if you think I stumble at all during this part, you should have heard me on the phone with this director, who I am very excited to be working with at the end of the month. One thing I can talk about is the project Babygirl Blues and Other Colored People. It was written and conceived by my good friend Tia Dion Hodge-Jones, who you may have heard as my guest in episode 8. She decided to dive in on this idea of an original series. We're not supposed to call them web series anymore. This original series that she came up with, and she reached out to me and offered me the opportunity to play opposite her in this series. And of course I jumped at it because Tia's awesome, and it was a great concept, and I think it's very unique. And I was just happy to be asked to do it at all. And we shot a whole bunch of episodes last weekend, and it was a lot of fun. I got to work with not just Tia, but Justin Anthony Kennedy and the one and only one named Penwa, who is a super unique person and was also fun to work with. Tia co-directed it with David Wasserman. They had a great crew on hand, and just a really enjoyable experience. And the episodes were loosely scripted, and we improvised our way through them, and it was a great collaborative experience. I love that kind of stuff, and I am so grateful to Tia for inviting me to be part of it. There's more information, including a preview video, in the show notes for this episode on the site. That's bringyourownlunch.com. Also, I've been working on a new demo reel. New year, new season, time to really up my game, so I decided to go in and edit my demo reel. The dramatic one has stuff from The Following and Daredevil, and I made for the first time a comedy reel. Oddly enough, I've never done that before, so I have an exclusively comedy reel that I'm working on cutting down to the nitty-gritty and getting a nice tight demo out of that. But I have them both up on the site. You can check that out, again, in the show notes for this episode. And coming up this weekend is the Tony Awards. I am going to be watching it with far more interest than I ever had before. I'm wishing all the luck in the world to the cast and crew of Hand to God, the Broadway show that is up for several Tony Awards this weekend, including Best Actress. My friend Geneva Carr, who you may have heard in BYOL episode 21, nominated for Best Actress. That in her first Broadway role, but certainly not her last big project, because, she did my podcast when that show hadn't even gone into previews, and now everybody is interviewing Geneva. So I'm just glad that I got to catch her before the whole world realized how awesome she is. So good luck to everybody, and Geneva, I'll be pulling for you. You know who else I'm pulling for? Banuba. Gotta thank Banuba. Banuba.net. BANOOBA.net. They are the folks that provide the music at the beginning, middle, and end of this show. The show would not be the same without them, so please go to their site, download their music, buy their music, find out where they will be playing live, and they are terrific. So go there, say hi to them, and tell them that Dave sent you and is eternally grateful for the cool music they provide to this show. And if you want to help us out, the simplest, easiest, best way you can do it that costs zero money is a two-step deal. You first go to iTunes or Stitcher, and then you rate, review, and subscribe to this show. Rating and reviewing means giving a certain number of stars and then saying glowing things about the show, or me, or the show, or me, and then you can subscribe to the show. And all of that will tell iTunes and Stitcher that we're doing good stuff here, and that by doing that, iTunes will in turn tell more people to listen to what we're doing. It's an algorithm, it's a behind-the-scenes thing, but apparently it works. So if you have any opportunity whatsoever, just go there. It'll take you 2 seconds, and rate, review, subscribe, and then if you can, tell a friend, tell 2 friends, tell 8,000 people, whether or not you know them, randomly on the street, and tell them BYOL wants you. That is all. All right, let's get into it with Carmen Cabrera, actor, Spanish native, maker-upper of words. We'll find out. Here's Carmen. Enjoy. I kind of like that we have life going on outside the apartment right now. It's great. No, I mean, we're in, I'm not going to say specifically where, but we're in Queens, you know?
Yeah.
Life happens in Queens. Why not?
Okay.
We hear children's laughter. We hear honking horns. Someone will probably curse somebody else out.
Oh,
you
man,
know.
I hope not. No, it's a quiet neighborhood, but, the life that is going on.
Yeah, I mean, you're very close to first of all, you're very close to Manhattan.
Yeah.
So your commute must be awesome. But also on top of that, you're in the middle of a very busy section of Queens without feeling like you're in the middle of I don't know, downtown Manhattan, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, Sunnyside is like a little gem, that not too much people know about this neighborhood.
True.
And it's very I wish we have more like a fun vibe, like Astoria or something, you know, because sometimes you are like, let's go and have a dinner in the neighborhood and there is nothing really around, not too much. But you have Long Island City right there, and then, of course, the city, which is like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
15 minutes to Grand Central, Times Square.
Yeah, you're in.
It's good. It's good. We have a good fresh market, farms market on Saturdays, and
that's a good deal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a really good deal.
Yeah.
So we finally get to do this because you were off journeying to Spain.
That's true. That's true. Oh my God.
Now, for someone who might not know, you're originally from
Madrid, Spain.
Now, is that what I would say when I would clumsily try to say Madrid?
Madrid.
Is it Madrid? Is that the local pronunciation? I mean, is that
Madrid.
And that's the capital of Spain.
That's the capital of Spain.
Your
yes.
pronunciation. I love that pronunciation because it's so different from what I understood to be the pronunciation, which is typical stupid American.
Oh no, not a stupid though. Come on, but it's the American way, and then it's like my name. I say my name is Carmen. Carmen,
right.
the Spanish way, right?
Yes,
How I
yes.
know my name to be pronounced.
Sure.
And Americans will say Carmen, which is
different. What does that do to you, like when you hear that?
Now I'm accustomed, of course, and I get it. It's like if I have to pronounce an American name that maybe I'm not, or any other name from any other country that I don't know really how to pronounce,
True.
and I will pronounce it with my Spanish accent.
Right.
So it's just that. But
and do you see a lot of Spanish names in the U.S. and in this area?
See a lot. Yeah.
So does that make you feel a little bit like a slice of home, or does that feel does that feel artificial to you when you see something like that?
Like Spanish-speaking people?
No, well, just like the Spanish names used all over the place, and not necessarily in a Spanish context, but just the name being used. Like San Francisco would be a Spanish name, but I don't think anybody associates it necessarily with the Spanish culture, let's say.
Yeah.
How does that feel for you? Because sometimes when I see something like an American flag used on clothing in like Sweden, it doesn't feel like they really mean to use it the way we would. So how does it strike you when you see Spanish names being used here?
Maybe the thing would be for me the pronunciation. Like to say San Francisco or Los Angeles instead of San Francisco, Los Angeles.
So that's amazing.
Like these kind of things.
Yeah, like it's typical for Americans to take Spanish in school, but I don't think they teach the correct pronunciation to anyone. You have that kind of TH sound. With when you said San Francisco, you said San Francisco, which sounds so much more elegant to me.
But I have to say, the C and Zeta in Spanish speaking, that is the Castilian accent, which is from Spain. Spanish, like English, we have different accents depending on which country are speaking the language, right?
That makes sense.
There's 22 countries in the world that speak Spanish, and the Spanish from Mexico is very different from Argentina, from Spain.
Sure.
It's like English from British or British English or the America or Australia, right? So the pronunciation is different. And in Spain, we pronounce the C and Zeta. which is known as Castilian,
Right.
and there is more rules to the
Sure.
to the language, but it's not something that every country does. Like a word like cherry, cereza.
No, wow, that's great.
A lot of countries will pronounce it cereza.
That's what I would imagine. That's where I would go, because I did take French, and they don't have the Castilian th theta sound.
Yeah.
So that's so fascinating to me. I'm a big languageophile, I guess you could say. So whenever I hear it, I'm always like deeply fascinated on how that evolves. Mm-hmm. Is that across Spain, or does Spain have its own regionalisms in terms? Can you tell somebody's from northern part of Spain versus southern part of Spain?
Of course, absolutely.
Yeah, it's always that's also interesting to me.
So in Spain, which is not a very, very big country, has dialects, has other, in fact, languages like Euskera, which is its own language, and they talk it in the vast country in the north. Mm-hmm. And we, of course, have accents depending on the area that we're speaking. Accent from Madrid is very different than accent from the south of Spain, Andalusia, or the Canary Islands. Yeah. So, yeah, it's fascinating. It happens the same in Italy as well.
Yeah. And it does happen here. I mean, it's
country, right? Yeah.
I mean, obviously in a country as big and as oddly diverse as ours, you can tell somebody from New York versus Texas versus San Francisco. Mm-hmm. But it seems so magical that it happens the same way in another language. It's like it all sounds like Spanish to me.
Yeah, it sounds like regular. Yeah.
Yeah. But what also the other one was when I spent a little bit of time in Norway, mm-hmm. they were talking about how you could tell, what's it called? You could tell someone's whether or not they came from a wealthier background or not, based on the accent they had, whether they were speaking Norwegian or they were speaking English. Can you tell somebody's location in Spain based on the accent they use when they're speaking English? That's what I'm curious about.
Location, do you mean?
Like where they are in Spain, where they came from in Spain, based on listening to them speak English.
Oh, it's English or Spanish?
English. Yeah.
English, no.
Isn't that interesting?
English, no.
Yeah.
It's Spanish, yes, but English, no.
Isn't that fascinating?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I can hear somebody from, let's say, Texas, pronounce Spanish with a Texas accent, like San Pedro, something like that. But one individual to another speaking Spanish, I would never be able to locate it.
That's an interesting thought. I never really thought about it. I mean, really, maybe the accent from the south of Spain in Andalusia is quite thick. It's very thick accent, very lovely, beautiful accent. Mm-hmm. So yes, when these people speak English or other languages, is different. So maybe if I see someone or hear someone from Sevilla or Malaga speak English, I could maybe say, by them speaking English, not Spanish, oh yeah, she's absolutely from the south,
Sure,
so maybe, but in this case, because the accent of the south is so specific. But maybe other regions in Spain, I wouldn't necessarily know.
Interesting.
You know where they're coming from.
Well, that's all really. I mean, that stuff is all really fascinating. But let's bring it to you specifically because you were born in Madrid.
In Madrid.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna have that problem. And there's this fear, this continuous fear. I was thinking about this before, that at some point I may actually refer to your home country as Italy because I'm an idiot.
No, man.
But you are from. I'm not going to butcher the pronunciation. You are from the capital of Spain,
Madrid,
and when it's España when you say it, right?
España,
mm-hmm. Which again sounds far more elegant. But so you were born there, mm-hmm. and what was life like growing up in Spain? Because it's something that I'm not really familiar with, like the typical. I don't know if yours was typical or not, but what the average experience of somebody growing up in Spain specifically is like.
Well, I have to say we have a pretty life, very nomadic because of the work of my father. So I was born in Spain, and my sister as well, and my 3 brothers were born in Murcia, which is a city in the south of Spain. We were living there for 5 years in Murcia, and then we had to move to other places. My father eventually was working in one of the Canary Islands, which is this group of islands that are closer to Africa, right, by the Sahara, more closer to Africa than to Spain, but they belong to Spain, and he will come to Madrid in the weekends. So we've been, going around a little bit, but we've been based in Madrid for quite a long time now. I mean, in
what did
Madrid
your father do?
is now like is home for me, absolutely.
When you go home, you think Madrid.
Madrid is
Here we go again. What did your father do?
My father is a notary.
A notary?
Which is a different kind of notary that is known here in the States. It's the European way of notary. I don't know if it makes sense. Basically, he had to study law and then do the oppositions to become a notary. It's a very official link it to the law
interesting
profession. So if you want to buy a house or someone dies in your family, you need the sign of a notary to become all of this possible. So it's an important profession, big one, and once you are a notary, it takes a lot of years of study and all of this, and once you're a notary, you belong to the school of notarios.
Interesting.
And so you're able to choose places. They send you out to different regions in Spain, and
it's a government position, or is it
related
independent?
To law, not necessarily to government.
Interesting.
Like that.
Interesting. So you say you belong to the school of that's the organization for the entire country to
yes, el Colegio de Notarios.
They assign everybody who is a notary in Spain. Interesting.
And then as much years you have in the profession, you work, then you are able to choose one place or another. The older ones, the people that have been working more, are gonna have more, they're gonna be more eligible to maybe work in a place I don't know, somewhere in Madrid than maybe a new one that just graduated.
Well, typical seniority kind of
absolutely,
thing. Absolutely,
like that kind of thing.
Wow, because here in the U.S., a notary is kind of like a side gig that somebody has.
Absolutely, it's very different.
And there certainly isn't that amount of schooling involved.
Different.
Yeah,
no, and it's a profession that is one of the oldest ones. In Europe we have big history and everything, and notarios are related from a long time ago, and it's a profession that is about law. So law changes and evolves itself a lot as well, and they always have to be studying and being conscious of the new laws that are coming, the ones that are not.
So it sounds like a lot of the responsibilities of a lawyer, but not necessarily being a lawyer, but you have to have the same kind of knowledge.
Yeah. Oh yes, you have to graduate from law.
Wow.
Before, and then study to the las oposiciones to become a notary.
I guess we pass the board here, maybe? The board exams?
It's like you become a lawyer, and then you have to do these exams to become a notary, which is maybe 5 years of study.
Notary is above a lawyer?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. That's very different from how it is here.
It's very different. Very different. And in France and in Italy, it is a very similar profession, if it's not the same. Notarios in Europe.
Has your father been here? Has he visited here?
Yes, he has visited.
I can only imagine, and I apologize to him on behalf of all Americans.
No.
If someone heard his profession and was like, that's like a side job for someone who works at McDonald's.
Dear God, no. My goodness, no.
Because, it sounds like he's a very lofty position in the country. And do people look at it that way? Because people who are... maybe not lawyer, because everybody has opinions about lawyers, but someone who might become a judge is held in very high esteem.
Well, it's the same. To become a judge, you also have to study law and then do the oppositions for judge. So
notary and judge are on the same level. In terms of stature within the legal profession. In
terms of a study and these oposiciones, that I don't really know the word in English.
That's okay.
Is the study that you have to do after the law to become a judge or a notario.
It's like super law school.
It's almost. Very low. Yes, we have these books at home that are oh my goodness.
Wow.
It's just when you think about sometimes actors having to learn crazy big monologues or something that you're and people are oh, how do you learn that? I'm like, wow.
I have a whole scene to learn in 3 months. How am I going to get through this?
Yes, and there's people out there that really have had to learn like crazy stuff.
Yeah, but but you're right in comparison to somebody
to like these jobs, and in fact, the exams that my dad had to do, some of them were oral exams.
Oh,
so you need to know these laws by
heart.
By heart,
yeah.
And,
fascinating.
And you have to say,
yeah. Now his career obviously took you into different places within Spain.
He took us all the family.
Your mom, did she work or does she work? Or?
Well, she had stopped working and worked at home, which is an amazing work being a mother, because a mother of 5 was a lot.
Yeah. Well, so. my mother was, managed our home, which was in and of itself a huge job, probably more than 10 people should ever be expected to do. So I have great respect for people who are home and doing the thing at home. And here in the U.S., it's becoming sort of a dying concept of having one income earner and somebody staying at home. I mean, it's changed a lot since I was a kid. Is it changing in Spain too? Do you know? Or?
It's changing. I think it's generational. It's our times, and it's a good thing. I think in the case of my parents, they were lucky enough to maybe have one of them able to bring all the sustenance to the family, while the other could really take care of being more at home. I mean, 5 kids is a lot of kids.
Yeah.
It's crazy, But my mom is such a proactive woman too, that she was always doing things, and but yeah, I mean, I agree. I think maybe the society should help to create more a balance in where maybe families, especially when the kids are small, and especially women, can have more time to dedicate to the family at those early stages, and still being able to work and grow as professionals that they want to be. Why not? Why do you have to stop working because you are a mother? It's an option that if you want to do it, right, but it shouldn't be like that just because
I mean,
you have the option.
We struggled with that, my wife and I, when we have 2 kids, and we struggled with how do we be present in their lives as much as possible, but at the same time still earning money because we need to, and
have your jobs,
and having our jobs, and it's a hard line to draw. So it's interesting that it's similar in other countries, because I only know from the U.S. economy, and obviously things in Europe. I'm not an economist, so I don't know day to day what the things are in Europe or Spain specifically. So, but it's true that the struggles of one, no matter where you are, can be very similar to somebody in a different country. So, for you specifically, when did you have that thought about acting, or when did the idea of being an actor hit you? Was it in your childhood, or did it come later?
Oh no, absolutely my childhood.
Okay.
Absolutely. And it's been related always to storytelling. When I started to read, by the age of 5 or so, I was obsessed with reading in the stories. I was obsessed. And by 9 years old, I decided, I don't know how you will become an actor, or how, the questions of how to get there, but that was for me. That was for me. And it was such a clear vision.
What was your vision? Because you said you weren't sure about how to become an actor, but did you have a concept of being an actor? Did you have...
It was more like the belief of you belonged there. And
where was there,
sometimes
though?
What was there? It was...
Where was there? Like when you said, I need to be there, where was, in your mind, what was there?
It was the stories.
You needed to be inside the stories.
Stories. It was fascinating. It was being inside the stories. For a long time, I thought people in TV lived inside of the TV.
I did too.
You did too, and I'm sure a lot of children believe like this. Well, nowadays that they born with like an iPad under the arm, I don't know, but
my son probably
more
thinks
wise.
His favorite characters live inside my phone. That's
wow, it's so cute. It's so cute. But so it was a really clear belief that I belonged there to stories, and I wanted to be part of that. I don't really necessarily thought about acting. What was acting or not like that. And so, and then I was an avid reader, you know? And so it was just like, man, the imagination. Children, some of them are really focused on sports. Some others love animals and science and stuff like that. And I was just obsessed from a very, very early age with storytelling and with cartoons, movies, reading, and all of that, and had a really big imagination. I wasn't one of those girls that was going to piano lessons and dance and like had all of this to inspire my art. Not necessarily. It was just came very natural. We were living in different houses and surrounded by a lot of nature. And that was huge, with this green and a lot of flowers from the south of Spain to, having to always generate new friends in different schools and stuff like that. So all of those things, the very nomadic life kind of inspired. And then, by 9 years old, I knew that was it for me. And we changed a lot from houses and stuff, but we bought this house in the south of Spain in Murcia by the beach. And so that was our house that always will be there. So no matter what will be, we will always end up the summers there.
That was your vacation.
That was our vacation home.
That's nice.
By the beach, and we will be there every summer. And so I had my friends, and I still remember so clearly, getting my friends together and organizing theater plays that we will create, and from the joy of play and create and being part of the story. That was huge. That's
very cool. When did that evolve into a knowledge of how things work? Because for me it's interesting. And again, I mean, I don't want to harp on the fact that you're from Spain. Obviously, it's part of your background, and it's not all I want to talk about. But the differences are fascinating to me. Here in the U.S., we watched a lot of TV, and the idea of being a Hollywood celebrity was kind of its own thing. So that you became familiar with the idea of being a Hollywood celebrity or Hollywood actor because it was part of our culture in a way. What in Spain would have been similar for you? I don't know how the industry works at all in Spain. So did you think, what's the concept there?
This is so interesting because, growing up with this idea of me wanting, I couldn't even say actor maybe, it was being part of the stories, was never related to being an actor on TV like that, or I didn't really have a strong desire even later on when I went to college and I was studying acting at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts in Madrid. I didn't necessarily have this huge desire of being in TV and this and this. It was always, that came later. When I got out of that bubble and it was like, okay, now it's time to work, like for real. But that bubble was very long for me for a long time.
That's a nice bubble, the way you describe it, because sometimes when you talk about that bubble, it's sort of a bubble of, let's say, like a delusional bubble. But for you, it was all about the creativity and you were working, you were living for the art, it was
a very, very, it had to do a lot about that. I'm telling you, right before getting to college, like around 15, 16, 17 years old. And I don't know if you guys have this kind of, I'm sure you have this kind of classes. I don't know if it's the same, but in Spain, I had these literature classes at school when we had to read all these amazing novels, and then the discussions of the novels were amazing. And all that inspired me so much too. We had to read Dracula and Dangerous Liaison and all these novels and in the discussions with the teachers, and it was like a philosophical act of, and that all just inspired me more to be like, I want to be in the arts somehow.
Just the arts itself
I want to be a part of this. In what I felt more natural for me was the in where I found it more organic and more playful was expressing myself through acting. Could have been through writing, but I just found acting as a way to like jump, feeling like fish in the water, and then I had to be like, okay, my parents, everyone, was like, all right, so what are you going to do with your life? And it was like, yes, acting, this is it.
Right.
I was going to a little acting classes, theater classes in my little town, and
while you were still in grade school? Or
in high school.
High school, you call high school.
High school, yeah. And nothing serious. I wasn't going to auditions for commercials, or I never was that girl that, had, I'm telling you, not even these big desires to be on TV or movies, or I didn't even know how you get there. I was just like...
And there wasn't anybody else that you knew of who was going into auditions in Madrid?
Absolutely not. Yeah. But I knew very clearly, and like I believed that I belonged there. I didn't know how I will, ended up in TV or whatever that is, but I belong there. And my desire was bigger than the thought of, I want to be a movie star, or I want to be like, not even watch too much TV, if I tell you the truth.
I believe it. Because you're not American.
Well, no, I mean, they watch a lot of TV in Spain as well. Don't get me wrong, but just personal,
the reason I say that, by the way, is completely attached to how you described your literature class in school.
Oh, man.
Because by contrast, that sounds so idyllic to me, but here in the U.S., and it speaks to maybe why our education system is falling flat in a lot of ways, that your literature class was where you read those books and you engaged in deep philosophical conversations about things like you said, Dracula and Dangerous Liaisons, and I'm sure several other classic books.
Never-ending Story, La Celestina, El Quijote. I mean, all these big novels from the 20th century and before. Right.
In the U.S., in my high school experience, it would go like this. They would say, read Dracula. And we'd all say, okay, by when? And they'd say, by September 28th. On September 27th, 3/4 of the class would begin reading the book the night before by skimming through and then going to find the Cliff's Notes, which was like the annotated, like quick version of the book, and then barely writing the essay on it in study hall on that day it was due. So we didn't engage in those deep, dark philosophical questions. What we did was hope that the teacher didn't call on us so that we wouldn't be exposed for having not read the book. And I wish I could say that was like the minority of the kids who were doing that.
Yeah, but a lot of them.
Definitely not.
Oh, man.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
And I kind of miss the idea of having that sort of deep intellectual conversation about things like that. Now, I can have those deep intellectual conversations now as an adult, which is awesome, but nobody's grading me now. That's the difference,
Absolutely.
And,
absolutely.
So I think our culture needs to take a cue from, and it sounds like what you were doing is very similar to what the Greeks were doing in the academies back when, where they would just have deep conversations about things, and that's how they learned and shared knowledge and ideas and stuff like that. We don't do that enough now, and I think the art of that is somewhat lost. So, but we do have awesome burgers. So I guess there's so it's not all so bad.
No, of course, and I have to say, I'm sure a lot of kids in my class also would do like that, because maybe you don't have interest in literature,
sure.
Then you were gonna be, But to me, I was absolutely like, reading Baudelaire or Rimbaud and analyzing it, and where you are learning how to think and how to express yourself and putting yourself mentally in the shoes of these characters in the novels. It was. I love that, and that feeling is still so vivid in me.
Yeah, you can tell. I mean,
it's just now, especially I don't have time to read as much as I would like to.
Yeah.
Because I'm always some scripts or this and this, but like novels and stuff like I don't have that time, and I miss it. But I have to say that era, before that, I knew I was going to be this.
You were
whatever
already
actor is
steeped in the arts already.
Yes.
So yeah.
But that was like, yeah, this is it.
Yeah. So you tell me about the progression from high school to going to the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts. Now that is connected to the one in London, and is that a satellite campus, I guess, of the same one that's in London?
It's not connected to the one in London, but is our version in Spain.
Okay.
So it's a conservatory. It's a program, a conservatory program. You can study acting or directing or screen. You can be playwright, scenography as well, and yeah, it was the best school in Spain to go.
Did you have to get accepted into that program?
You have to do first a theory exam. Each year varies. 1 year is based on the Spanish Golden Age, all the classical stuff.
Wow.
Like like Shakespeare. Well, Spanish Golden Age theater is huge.
Sure.
And we have even more types of verses in theater, a lot of writers. It's a lot. And the year that I had to do my exams was that year, the Spanish, the classical. So I had to study a lot. So anyway, so you had to do that exam, and then if you get accepted, you do the practical one, which is 2 monologues and a song, and then a physical exercise in a group. So yes, there's auditions for, to be part of this. And the last year of high school was like, all right, so now what are we going to do? And you have friends that know exactly what they want to do. Others are still like, I don't know what I want to do.
Sure.
I knew what I wanted to do so bad, but I didn't know how to get there. So it's the time of research started of like, okay, so what school should I go? My parents helped me a lot. They've been always so supportive with me.
That's great.
So it was like, we went to Resat, we had a tour, and I was like, this is it. Wow. This is the best school in Spain. This is where I want to go and have my education. And I spent the summer preparing for those exams.
Wow.
With a tutor that helped me with all the theory part, the Spanish Golden Age theater part, and then another teacher with all because the monologues and stuff, yeah. And that was going to be my really first audition ever.
Wow.
That was going to be my first audition.
And it's so complex. Everything about it just sounds so...
It was complex, but the desire was so strong. And it was like, when you are like, yeah, this is it. Like, it's not like I'm going to get accepted. Not at all. I was just like, I knew. When you know, like... Yeah,
sometimes you just feel like you're going to nail it.
Yeah. And it's not about like, I'm going to be good at it. I'm just like, you just feel like,
this is what I'm supposed to do.
You belong to that. And I work a lot, huh? I worked a lot that summer. And
well, I think you probably worked on that one audition more than a lot of people work on all the auditions they ever do combined. I mean... Well, certainly more than all the commercial auditions I've ever done,
The commercial auditions, I'm
sure. That's we can transition, and I don't want to skip ahead because there were obviously steps there, but your concept of auditioning for commercials, when you think about all the academic foundation that your theater education was built upon, I mean, when you go to a commercial audition, how silly does it seem?
Well, I have to say, not silly at all.
Oh, okay.
My first commercial auditions were here in the States. I've never done commercial auditions before in Spain. I was freaked out by this idea of having to go, not knowing what I'm going to do, sometimes having to prepare a script in 2 minutes. And I was like, whoa. Seriously, I was freaked out at the very beginning. And it took me a little time to get accustomed to this. Oh, yeah, I just go there, it's reading a copy, whatever I have. I had a lot of I guess insecurities about, because it's not a role. As an actor, you're always protected by the role that you're portraying, the story, all of that. And this commercial auditions, it was about you being there and just just being interested enough, maybe, for them. So I was like, oh my God, this is just not going to work.
Yeah, that's very interesting. It's not necessarily what I would have assumed, because I didn't have that strong, rigorous academic theater school training. that you had. Certainly not. I mean, there are obviously schools in the U.S. where the theater programs are that intense and that strict academically. But I didn't come from that background. I came mostly from a broadcast and comedy background. So the idea of just going up and doing something and throwing it away helped me a lot. And it was comfortable for me. So I sometimes feel and have felt like, oh, maybe I didn't work hard enough because I didn't go to a strict academic drama school. So to hear that means that we just had different experiences, and it's kind of comforting, and obviously I've gotten over these things. But maybe somebody who's listening to this who's thinking, oh man, I didn't go to a big theater school, and I feel so intimidated by people at a big theater school. Not. But maybe with this hearing of my simple-minded approach, maybe is comforting for somebody.
Oh, of course, come on now. And you know what? We know in this business, it doesn't really matter where you're coming from.
It does. Ultimately,
and I have
to
say, me coming to New York and to have to start from scratch the career, and Resad it was my best choice when I had to choose where to go and study. Mm-hmm. It was my best choice, the one that worked for me. But, it's a school that has the good things and bad things is everywhere. Mm. And, when I came to the States and, this could be a very good school in Spain, but no one knew really about it is necessarily. So here I'm like, I've got a lot of times this question of where have you studied here and this. I'm like, well, it's like I spent a lot of time educating myself over there, and I'm not necessarily now in wanting to go back to school. First of all, because now I absolutely got out of that bubble, and I absolutely know by now that it doesn't matter really where you're coming from. Right. This is a business that, yes, maybe if you come from NYU or Yale, you have, more luck into getting opportunity for theater, for certain things, but not necessarily for everything. And either way, you never know.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
And if the the idea of success is like these actors that work a lot in film and this, a lot of them, trust me, they don't come from a big school.
Right.
So it
is a very interesting career in that somebody who is just born with an inherent ability to do this can be as successful as somebody who has gone to the best school and has the best training. Yeah. It's very unique that way. I mean, there's like sports can be that way. You just have a natural knack and ability to do it. And then it's just a matter of getting real good at doing the minutia. But like brain surgeons can't get away with that, let's say. You wouldn't want to go to somebody who just kind of goes, I think I got this,
It's true.
I want to go back to your Royal Academy days. What's the kind of stuff that they focused on there? Like what did you take away from that as the biggest part of your training, you think?
Well, my knowledge, especially relating to theater, this was a training of 4 years, basically from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Wow.
Basically, because when it's not about classes, you have to rehearse for shows or scenes, so it's intense. So the writers that I know, if I'm working on classical plays, I have a lot of background of knowledge that I know because of those days.
You've done your homework.
Yes, the voice lessons, the movement lessons. You get to know different disciplines from Lecoq to clown work to all these things that are wonderful to study.
Across the board. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're wonderful to learn in the States. Fighting classes
and
the esgrima
stage fighting or I don't know, because you're doing a physical move. It looks like you're doing fencing.
Fencing.
Well, I called it épée, but fencing. Either that or you. I don't even. I wish you could see this because it's my left arm is at a 90-degree angle and I'm doing a jazz hand with my left. And my right hand, I'm sort of just poking a fire.
That's, no!
So
you're funny.
Fencing.
Fencing. Anyway.
Did you study? Well, you said you did like Lecoq and clown work and all that stuff. Did you do Stanislavski or method
Stanislavski, Grotowski. I mean, those 4 years were for me where I discovered and I put some discipline into what is to be and maybe become an actor. You know, for a musician, it's like you need to sit at the piano and you need to know where to put the fingers, and you need to know how to read music. You need to know these things. What is the discipline of an actor?
It's exactly what we were saying before.
What
it's
is
like,
it?
Yeah.
You know, so those 4 years teach me discipline, gave me knowledge, gave me tools to then use in the real world. I have to say, you know, the school wasn't the best place for prepare me to the real world in the sense of auditioning and business-wise, because I got out of there and I was like, what the hell? What the hell is going on? You know, like when I'm using now my cock.
Yeah, right.
You know what is?
You're looking through backstage, looking for the Lecoq auditions.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like the absolutely imbalance of all these things that you have to learn and that are so valuable, but at the same time, the reality of the business, which is auditioning for these roles on TV that, you know, they don't care about how you project the voice and this and this. So the school didn't really do a good job to transition ourselves to that, I have to say.
I would dare say that there is almost no school or big theater program in America that properly prepares prospective actors for the actual business of acting.
Mistake.
I agree. I agree. And I think on one hand, there's certain aspects of this business that you cannot fully understand until you jump in feet first and go through it. Yeah. But on the other hand, it's like some kids are just left flapping in the wind. And if they're not apt to be, like someone like me, I got into the business late because for various reasons, but one, I guess, benefit of starting late is that I grew into my look. Like, I wasn't probably very marketable in my early 20s because I kind of looked like this, just a little bit younger with more hair. And had I gone through 4 years of heavy, rigorous theater training, and then I was a 21-year-old, 22-year-old going, okay, let's work, and having no idea how the business actually works, I would have been freaked out beyond belief, and I might not have a career now, like 20 years later.
Absolutely. And it happens to a lot of students that come out from these schools, you know. I mean, you guys at least here in the States have these showcases with directors and agents. We didn't necessarily have that like that
even that amount. Wow.
So seriously, that was a big oof.
So how did you get your career started in Spain?
Well, and then again, I was so focused on getting these educations. Like, you know, in the summers between the 4 years, I will go to Italy to study Commedia dell'arte. I went to the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art with a scholarship. So I was always focusing. I went to Grotowski School also in Italy to like always wanting to immerse myself, you know. And I didn't really connect to the business side of how do I become a working actor until I was really out of the school. And well, I was lucky enough to be part of this project that it was based on women in jail in the Spanish Civil War.
Oh, wow.
And that show, it was a show it was like the final showcase, you can tell, but I play in school, and I wasn't part of the original cast there because I didn't belong to that cast. But then the show was so good, and a theater got interested in it, so they went to the theater, and I had to cover one of the actresses. I knew the director because he was a teacher of mine in the past, and blah blah blah. And so that show went great, amazing. And not too long after that, they were casting this film, The 13 Roses, which it was based on 13 girls, young women that got fusilated, killed.
Okay.
I just invented a word. Fusilated.
Fusilated.
I don't know. Killed. They got killed.
As an amateur.
You know, when they put in the wall.
Yes. Yeah. Well, assassinated or executed.
Executed.
Okay.
That's the one I wanted to say.
But the amateur etymologist in me needs to know how you came up with like fusilated.
Oh, you know, because in Espanol it's fusiladas, so I just made it up.
You know, if there's one thing
Just like that.
in my 30 plus years of education, I've learned one thing. That is, English is what you make of it. So as far as I'm concerned, fusilated or to fusilate now means to kill somebody. Preferably by doing the gun thing with your fingers. Yeah.
This is embarrassing. Oh my God. Oh.
All right, so these 13 women were executed. Or fusilated.
Anyway, executed. And this is a true story based in the Spanish Civil War. So I was like, what? I need to audition for this. Somehow I got a recommendation from a casting director to start to working with an agent. They sent me out to this audition. I booked a little role in the film, and then little by little, I started to go to different auditions here and there. But pretty soon I feel stuck, stuck in Spain with the idea of, I was so proactive during my college years and doing so much and always in shows and always learning. And, if I'm not in a show, I'm taking workshops and I'm doing things, and was taking flamenco classes and singing classes and everything. I was just like, and, I didn't really enjoy having all this free time, all this not disciplined time. I don't know what to do. I'm just basically waiting for my agent to call me to what to do with my life. It's a moment in where, a lot of my friends are in Madrid, some others are not. So it was
that's a hard adjustment for anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. It was just
coming out
crazy,
of the school bubble.
Coming out of the school bubble to the real world. So pretty soon I decided, you know what? And my parents were like, yes, do it. I had my best friend in Madrid, Maximo, he was like, Carmen, you gotta go to New York.
Wow.
You gotta go to New York, girl. He was like, and I was like, maybe, yeah. Huh.
And did he actually say girl at the end of that sentence? Did they do that in Spain?
Te tienes Nueva York, girl. Yeah, kind of. But, that kind of attitude of like, you gotta go to New York. Go to New York.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay. So I did the whole paperwork to get a student visa for 6 months to come to New York. And I was starting my career in Spain when I was like, this is cool, but I needed more.
How would you say, or to what level did you think your career got in Spain? Would you have gone much further? Is there opportunity to go to places in Spain that you didn't already go, being in Madrid and being, you had several film roles, you did TV there.
Well,
I mean, where could you have gone had you not decided to leave? I mean, was it?
Who knows? Who knows where I would be now in Spain, Would you,
I guess the question is, would you have been able to stay in Spain and be as busy as you'd want to be? Does the industry support that kind of activity?
The business in Spain, man, is tricky. It's tricky because I have to say I found myself with much more opportunity here. There is a lot of more competition, of course, but I don't care at all about competition because, we're going to compete either way or another. I don't care about that. I care about opportunity.
Sure.
I care about opportunity. Hello, we have a motorcycle running.
We had an opportunity to have a rhinoceros run past your window there.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But in here in New York, I felt, wow, there's a lot of movement going on. It's at least much more interesting.
Yeah. What drew you to New York instead of, let's say, LA?
I've never really thought about LA.
Okay.
Yeah, now, yes.
Well,
yes.
It's the progression, sure.
Yes, now, absolutely.
Further
and it's
west.
there.
Yeah.
And it's there, and it's different. Back then, the idea of LA didn't even cross my mind.
It was always New York.
I was still very, out of school, the whole maybe theater background.
What year did you come here?
What year? What was it? 2008?
2008, okay.
2008.
Yeah. What was the first impression that you had once you finally made the transition? You said you got a student visa. Did you have a plan to study somewhere here specifically?
Yes, because that's another thing. I did this workshop in Spain with an American teacher that came to Madrid, Bob McAndrew. He's still going on in New York doing workshops, and I loved the teachings and everything. So I came to New York specifically to take workshops with different folks. I ended up taking classes with Bob McAndrew, the City Company, and why not? And that was the idea. It was like 6 months to nurture myself artistically, and of course New York, for everyone is like, it's a place that you gotta go at some point in your life and immerse yourself with it, right?
That's something you'd heard about for your whole life. Is that something you remember? I mean, did you hear that New York was like a big time destination? Because we have this very obviously ethnocentric idea that America is everybody's prime destination for everything. But New York is a logical one that a lot of people want to come visit. And having grown up in the area, I kind of envy somebody who had that thought of like, I want to just someday just go to New York.
Yeah.
So how long was that set in your mind?
I have to say not for a long time, because I have a very European soul.
Good. Good.
So when I was traveling, in the summer and going and taking workshops in other places, I always had the focus of Europe in my mind. England, Italy, France.
Yes.
These places were in my mind, and it was when my friend Maximo actually brought it up that I started to be like,
it hadn't occurred to you.
He encouraged me very, very much, like, Carmen, you have to go to New York, man. You have to go to New York. And I was like, really? What is there for me? And then I started to investigate, and of course I was like, New York, there's a lot. Why not? So those 6 months have been the best 6 months of my life.
Okay, so I guess the question was in the beginning was like, what was your first impression of being here when you got here?
Well, I actually met my husband my first day in New York.
Oh, wow.
So from there, on the street.
How did that happen? You met your husband on the street of New York City.
My first day in New York.
Now, a word to the wise to anybody listening to this who does not live in New York now, who is considering moving to New York, whether you are male or female, and it doesn't matter who you are interested in terms of whether you are interested in men or women or otherwise.
Yeah.
That's not typical. So don't come here thinking that you are going to meet the next Carmen Cabrera on the street and you will find your soulmate the first day you arrive. Yeah. How did that happen?
All right. I got into New York January 28th of 2008, late at night. So my first day in New York was the 29th, of January 2008. So I was living on 23rd Street between 1st and 2nd Avenue.
Okay.
And in the afternoon, I was like, all right, let me explore a little bit. So, I had my guide and stuff. Oh, I don't live very far away from the Flatiron Building and then the Chelsea Piers, where there's some like dance schools and stuff. So let me walk my street towards Chelsea Piers. All right. So that was my idea.
And again, for somebody who's not in New York, close on a map in New York City is like forever on the other side of the island if you're not used to it. So like you will live a whole life going from one one side of the island to the other. And you were going from almost far extreme east all the way far extreme west. Yeah.
But it was like, this is a nice walk. It's just my street is straight on.
Sure.
So from between 1st and 2nd Avenue on 23rd, so I start walking, all cool. But when I get to 8th Avenue, I see this guy. So I'm going towards Chelsea Piers and he's coming on the opposite direction. And he's coming from a little far away. I see him just walking towards me. And then when he comes closer to me, he says, "You're hot." And keeps walking down.
Okay. All right. Third word to the wise. Despite the success your husband had, do not start yelling things out to pretty women on the street. It doesn't work as well as it did for your husband.
No, but I have to say, his approach was so just fun. It wasn't intimidating. It wasn't like, these guys that are like, you're hot, whatever. No, he was just like walking fast, and he just said it with a big smile on his face, like, Samuel, if you get to know him, he's like the sweetest guy on earth. Oh my God. Like sweet, just comedian, just like fun. And I didn't even understood. I didn't understood what he said. Like, your hat, I didn't even know what that meant.
Now, how was your English at that point?
Well, it was good, but not super good.
Yeah, because your comprehension now, I mean, obviously we have a very easy rapport, despite my not knowing any Spanish. I mean, you're carrying the whole load, and it's not like I feel like I have to kind of explain anything I'm saying. So you obviously you've become a master at the language. But back then you weren't quite there.
I mean, and it was my first day too. It was just like, I know English from school and all that, but it was good, but
so the idea of your hot was like, do I seem like I'm sweating?
I don't know. I didn't even thought about stuff like that. I thought like he kind of say hi in a different way, hello in a different way, because he was so smiley and stuff. So it was like, and so then I turned myself. I was like, he's kind of cute. Like he's kind of cute for real. And then I keep walking and I start to get kind of to Chelsea Piers area, not even quite there yet, but I see that all of this is getting kind of industrial, not as many
it gets a little
city that I was before. So I was like, all right, let me get back. So like 15 minutes later, I go back, and in between 8th and 9th Avenue, there is Samuel. And so he's like, here you are again. I'm like, yeah? Oh, wow. All right. What's your name? Carmen, what are you doing here? Well, I just came from Spain last night, and this is my first day in New York. Oh, really? What are you doing here? Well, I'm an actress, and I'm just coming with a student visa. And you? What about you? Yeah, I'm an actor as well. We ended up having a coffee at the Starbucks. Then that night, I go with him to a concert of dearest friend Michael. Well, not Michael's concert, but in Soho that night, and then it was my only friend in New York City, because I didn't know anybody.
Huh.
And so it was...
That's crazy.
It was crazy, and it was so much fun, because the next day, actually, we found each other again on the street in Times Square. Because I didn't have a phone yet.
Not random, just randomly. You found it.
Randomly, we were like, he emailed me, hey, I'm going to go and see this show, this matinee show. Do you want to come? I'm like, okay, let me see if I know how to make it. Because I didn't have a phone. I didn't know how to really function in the streets and stuff.
You couldn't find Chelsea Piers.
Yeah, all that stuff. And I found himself again on the street, Like, so anyway, it was the best.
That was just meant to happen.
My life, man. Absolutely, I believe so. And from there, it was every day I would meet with with Samuel. And that summer we ended up in California. Then he comes to Spain, and then we do 3 years relationship, Madrid, New York.
Oh my gosh! So you took 3 years. Well, okay, just to get back to the you story, because the two of you, that's a great New York story. I mean, that is great.
So much fun.
So after those 6 months, you went back to Spain.
Yeah, of course.
Wow.
Yeah, I came with a student visa, and my goal was never to come and to stay in the States or anything like that. I didn't have that goal, or I didn't come to a school here in the States. No, my goal was to come to
immerse yourself.
Yeah, immerse myself for 6 months, and then go back to Spain and keep doing my thing. But my life changed completely. And in a way, I can say that I am living in New York right now because I'm in love with an American that we got married, and we had to choose a place to live, obviously. We couldn't be doing Madrid, New York.
And where was he from originally?
He's originally from Atlanta, Georgia.
So totally off the beaten path. Like that's one of those very cool New York stories that are unique to a place like this, where there are so many people being drawn together for different things. Mm-hmm. That's that's a great story. I love that story. But when you went back to Spain, how long were you back there?
No, I was living there.
Like, for how long before you were able to come back?
After the first month living in New York, right, the whole thing with Samuel become kind of official. Like, okay, this guy is my boyfriend. I have an American boyfriend.
You had one of those moments that said, okay, I guess we're together.
Yeah. We're dating. Okay. He comes to Spain. He meets my family. The whole thing. And then I was living in Spain. He was living in New York, and we would see each other, well, as much as we could.
Sure.
I mean, Samuel came to Spain for like a surprise weekend for 2 days. I was coming in the summers. It was just like, and we were Skyping all day, like a lot every day. And but we were together. I mean, absolutely together, like
Yeah.
a strong couple. You
You-
know
you
what I'm
knew,
saying? Like
yeah.
a strong couple. It
Yeah.
wasn't like, oh, because I'm in my... No. We were together. And like after 2 years or something, Samuel came to Spain for like 3 months, and he ended up proposing in Paris in a very nice, surprising trip.
I want that guy to pick my lottery numbers. Seriously.
He was so cute. So it was great. And this was October. And then we were like, well, what should we do? And so we were like, all right, well, why don't we get married the day of our anniversary where we met? So we ended up getting married on the street on 23rd.
Oh, come on.
I can show
That's
you the
awesome.
pictures. I can show you the pictures right there.
I hope. I mean, you can use this. This podcast can be your mental, your verbal notes for the screenplay. I hope you write about this thing, because that's the kind of thing you write about and see in movies. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a story. It's absolutely one of those. And I know it. But our parents, brothers and sisters, didn't know that we were going to get married on the street.
On the street.
They thought we were going to go to City Hall. So that was another... We contracted this official that did the wedding in Spanish and English. And it was...
Too much.
It was fun.
That's great.
It was snowing. It was beautiful. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was nice.
Wow. Jeez. Wow. Okay, so
that's it.
So
That's why I'm here in New York.
We're done. That's the whole story. This whole acting thing has just been a background set to just get you guys together. Okay, but from a work standpoint, were you able to do work in Spain, and were you working consistently? Were you working?
I was doing some guest starring roles in TV, and right after I got married, I got like a recurrent role on a TV show that was very popular in Spain at the time. It's called Tierra de Lobos, Land of Wolves, and it was like this 19th century drama.
I did look at your website and I saw the clip, and you were. Is it okay to call you a ghost?
Yeah.
It's not spoiling the story.
No, of course not.
Ah, okay.
No, it's the...
Yeah. You were a ghost.
I was the ghost wife of Lobo, which is the main character of the show.
The wolf. Yeah.
Wolf.
Yeah.
Wolf. Yes.
I know that word. Yeah.
Lobo. And that was fun, and because right after getting married too, I couldn't really stay here. I had to wait for my green card to come, and that takes around a year. And I could stay here but not work or anything. So
okay. You stayed there to keep working.
Back to Spain.
Right, and then you made the decision to come back to New York.
Yeah, we made the decision to focus on New York.
And you were
also,
starting your career for real.
Yeah, Samuel, he's learning Spanish. He doesn't speak Spanish, so it's just like, it was one of those situations. And I love New York, and it was like, why not? Of course.
Sure.
Yeah,
and obviously, work opportunities here for both of you are great.
Yes,
are great.
This was the place. Mm-hmm.
Sure, absolutely. When you came back here, I guess, with the intent of staying, how long before you sort of got involved in the real business of the business? I mean, did you start to... When you obviously met with agents and managers and things like that. What got you... what was the process like?
Man, it's been one of a kind, and it's been challenging and difficult, and I had to start from scratch.
Your credits in Spain didn't carry you...
I mean, yay and nay.
Yeah,
it's just one of those things that I wasn't famous or anyone, in Spain. So, like, if you are Penelope Cruz when she came to the States, but she was already working so much in Spain that everybody knew her, then that's a different story. But regular folks that, And then I also kind of was pretty new out of school too. So it's not like I had a lot of experience, time professional working in Spain.
Right.
So I have to say, it was starting from scratch. Great thing. I mean, the support of Samuel has been just unbelievable. He's also an actor, so that was great on helping me out with meeting folks.
And he knew the business.
He knew the business.
In New York a bit
He's
better,
been like, kind of that manager with me that is helping me out so much with decisions and relationships and everything. And then it was about starting to create a community, It was about that. All right, so there is the Spanish Repertory Theater here. There is the Hola folks there. The Latino community is pretty strong in New York. There's great writers, directors, actors, Latino, English, Spanish-speaking folks that are doing great things. So it was about to start to connect with these people where I felt back in the day, okay, yeah, this is where I'm gonna start.
Sure. And it makes sense from a strategic standpoint.
Yeah, it has to. You just cannot come here and feel like, oh yeah, second day I'm having an agent. No.
Yeah, right. Well, some people do, but
well, I mean, if you're lucky enough and all that, that's great.
Oh no, some people think that way, but it's a hard road to hoe if you're gonna do that. And starting with going with obviously a strength, which is Spanish theater. You found a home with people who were in that same community, which is awesome.
Absolutely.
So you'd recommend that to somebody who was, new to New York or even new to LA, where they do have a Spanish population that's fairly healthy. Just a way to get your foot in the door, really.
Yeah, it's about community, connect. You have to connect with the folks that you feel like, and it's not even with the mind on work. I mean, not just that, but with the mind of support, belonged to a specific community. And it doesn't have to be like, because you're Greek, the Greek community, because I'm from Spain. I have to say too, there's a big Latino community in New York, and there's some folks from Spain. Spain is different. We have our difference, but they are so welcoming, and it's like
that's nice.
Anyone, But what I'm trying to say is like beyond where you're coming from or what language do you speak or what country do you... Yes, it's just connect with someone.
Yeah.
Connect with someone.
It's true.
Get somewhere, connect with someone and start from there.
Yeah.
And those relations are what are going to bring you work later on in life.
It's true.
And opportunity, and you never know what.
Yeah, even you like... pointing that kind of idea towards myself, it's like I always knew that I just need to keep in touch with as many people as I can over the years, and it's helped me out tremendously.
Of course.
And I don't have that specific ethnicity to connect with somebody. I'm kind of a mutt that way. So it's just a matter of finding that community or building your own. So that you can always check in with people, and the people you run into 5 years down the line will know you inherently better than somebody you've never met before.
Absolutely.
So it's very smart thinking, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. Yeah. When did things start to turn where you felt like, okay, I'm starting to get somewhere, where I'm starting to put it together?
All right. Well, very soon I have to say I got a commercial agent through a recommendation, and I started to work. And pretty soon I got the SAG-AFTRA thing too. So that helped on that end.
What was the project that got you your SAG card or SAG-AFTRA card now?
So I was a must join by the time I had to do this PayPal.
Oh, PayPal.
PayPal.
Well, that's a pretty
commercial.
Good.
So
now you say PayPal, which is because of the Vatican, which is in Italy, which is where you're from. I had to get one in there somewhere.
No. Oh man, you're funny.
So you did a PayPal commercial, then you're in, which is
I did a few more before.
Oh, okay.
So like the whole thing that you become eligible, you're a must join, and by the time I had to do this commercial, I was a must join, so I had to join. SAG-AFTRA. And so anyway, on that end, things, I was auditioning for commercial work. I started to audition a little bit for voiceover. I was also auditioning for non-union work, and I was eating it up, all these backstage auditions, because that was the only thing that I could go for, the student films, in terms of legit
Sure.
auditions.
But here in New York, that's a great way to establish connections and get experience and learn the business a little bit
when
better.
You don't have anything else, I mean, what are you going to do? You have to start from somewhere. And
I don't know of an actor who didn't do at least one project like that. I mean, I did dozens of them when I started, because it's there. It's there, and it can be very helpful.
Yeah.
After a while, you can't do it because you have to eat.
Yes.
But it's smart strategy to take the work that's there, that's available to you, and then parlay that into something bigger. So
absolutely.
So obviously you were able to do that.
Yes, absolutely. And I was working in different projects, all the time, and I was also supporting all the folks that I respect expected from Go. You know, I was just going to all the readings, all the shows of friends that I was like, yeah, man, I love the kind of work that this person does. Absolutely. And later on, I ended up working with these folks, you know, and because that life is like that.
Yeah.
But from me, which is someone that, first of all, comes from another country. I don't have like come from any school in the States. And it was very much about focusing on community, belonging, and relationships.
Sure.
And I work a lot doing that, you know, different kind of projects, independent films, short films, readings, auditionings for, you know, Spanish theater, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And well, that little by little starts to evolve, and now, well, I'm working. I have agents that send me out for legit stuff, and I'm really blessed and grateful.
And you've had a good year.
I've had a good year so far, and I'm very happy about it. And this again comes from, you know, people that you meet in the way. And I had this friend that, you know, was able to recommend me to these agents, and then from there
they helped you get your foot in the door, and so you've had a couple of network shows and guest star kind of stuff, which shows the beauty of persistence. You know, you stayed with it.
Yeah, and this is pretty new, I have to say. I started to work with these agents right after Christmas. I went to Spain, and I came in mid-January. And my first guest star was in Forever as the prima ballerina Eva Selgas, which was a really fun role. And that was my fifth audition,
which is fantastic.
For TV, American
fantastic
TV, American TV. And the next audition right after was for Law and Order SVU, and I booked that with another guest star role. And you know, I mean,
that's the nature of the business. You know, that's.
I mean, there's a lot of factors there. We know it.
Absolutely.
That are luck and all that stuff. But, you know, what I'm really grateful and aware of is the fact that I have an opportunity that I deserved because I've been working towards it.
Yeah.
You know? And
it's actually kind of nice and somewhat rare when somebody can say that, where they actually are happy to take a little bit of credit for the hard work they put in, and I like that. I applaud you for feeling that way about yourself, because this can be a business with few redeeming qualities along the way until you book something, and then you feel redeemed, and then you go through a period where you feel kind of down, and then you book something, you're like, oh, I'm redeemed again. But if you can be redeemed in seeing the progress you've made in your career and attribute that to all the hard work you've put in, I think day to day your mindset will be far more positive than somebody who lives and dies by every audition. So I think that's something that a lot of people, I would hope, would learn over time, if not sooner. So it's great that you're able to say that. Yeah. It's you know, I'm happy for you, and it's great. And do you feel now that you are immersed in the story the way you hoped to be when you were a little girl?
Yes, I think I'm on my way, you know? And the thing to me is like this strong belief that this is it for me. With the goods and the bad times. You know, there are some actors that some other aspects in life start to become stronger, like, and they're like they stop falling in love with the work and the business, and I absolutely understand, and why not, you know, move on from this, why not? But to me is so strong the passion for it that you know, no matter where I'm gonna be, this New York, Spain, LA, whatever, you know, I'm gonna keep trying to do my best and I don't want to say fighting, but keep at it, you know, in this business. So that's a way of kind of, I don't know if it's success, but it's a way to remind yourself that this is what you set up your life for, and you're still pursuing that, you know. And let's see what it take us, you know. We don't know We don't know.
You're not going to know for a long time until you can look back at many, many years from now and know whether or not you were right. But the idea that you'd get to that point is in and of itself a success, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And the idea of like, you know, to me is good to at least have a project at a time. And now I'm in that state in where, you know, okay, I'm having this, I'm having that. So that's good. And I'm stopping to do so many of the, you know, there's other projects that I'm just like now want to focus the energy in different directions. But again, this is life and it's balanced, you know, and I had my time to like do all of that. And now I'm focusing the energy on different things. And it's so good. It's so good.
That's
you
awesome.
know, no matter what, it's all about always trying to do your best and do the work. Because sometimes we forget about that, you know, as actors.
Yeah.
Do the work. I have to say those auditions, man, it took some work. And then it shows in the audition. And sometimes you book it, sometimes you don't. But if the work is there, at least you're going to leave the room with, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
You'll leave the room feeling good.
Yeah.
You know you put it all out there and you didn't leave anything undone. And then also the power of leaving a good impression based on an audition is huge and should never be overlooked. So I think it's that work ethic you learned in school that I think is propelling things forward for you, even if it wasn't the greatest at teaching you the business. Like you said, you learn that work ethic that doesn't allow you to just kind of, you know, blow it out. I mean, commercial auditions, we can sometimes do that, but but for auditions where you really do need to be present and understand that role, you know, all that stuff is really contributing to what you're doing now, and that's very cool. That's very cool to see the results of that. Yeah. Anyway, how do people keep in touch with you? Like where do they find you online, social media, and stuff like that?
How they like my friends?
I mean, people who are listening to this who are like, I would hope your friends know how to reach out to you by now. I mean, you're not new to the city. Come on.
Oh yeah,
you're just hoping to walk up and down 23rd Street.
Oh man, yeah, find me on the street.
Yes, yeah. If you're somewhere in the vicinity of Chelsea in New York City, just look for a girl with brown hair who can't find Chelsea Piers. No. So how do people find you online?
Online, well, I have a website which is Carmen/
I would say dash.
Yeah. Carmen-Cabrera.com.
And to explain, and I had to look this up because I went to CarmenCabrera.com, no dash.
No dash,
and you are not a makeup artist in
I'm
Florida.
not a makeup man. No. Yeah, no, she got my name for the website. That's all right.
We're coming after you.
That's all right. We're coming after you.
And you are also not wanted for crimes in Florida, which apparently Google tells me someone named Carmen Cabrera is as well.
Yes, I'm not that one.
No, you're not that one either. No.
I'm not that one. No. So, yeah, if you go to my website, then you will see the one that we're talking about here. And yeah, of course, I'm on social media as well. I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram. I'm not on Twitter.
You're not on Twitter?
No.
Good for you.
You know, social media is just what it is. And
apparently
for me,
all the kids tell me Instagram's the big thing anyway.
It's fun. It's fun. It's much more personal and it's not really about too much showing off, but you know, I don't know. To me, it's good to be connected. And I have to say, helped me a lot in New York to know what friends are doing, you know, and you get these invitations to go to shows. And so it's a great tool to know what's going on.
Absolutely.
And also to put out there for yourself if you're doing something and you want the world to, hey, why not share it out? But that's kind of it for me. It's very work related.
Yeah.
And
who are you on Instagram?
MD Carmen Cabrera.
MD? Like Dr. Carmen Cabrera.
MD. Yeah, that's the name I had to find, you know. You cannot.
Where does MD come from?
Well, because my name, official birth name is Maria del Carmen.
Oh.
So okay. MD Carmen Cabrera.
That actually makes sense.
The Carmen Cabrera was taken too, so yeah.
We're coming after you.
We're coming after you.
We're going to send the Carmen Cabrera who's wanted for crimes in Florida after all the other Carmen Cabreras who keep stealing your online presence. That's how we solve this.
Oh, at least we have just one Carmen Cabrera in SAG-AFTRA, you know, as an actor.
True,
so
that's true.
Like
you nabbed that one.
Yeah. Oh.
Whew. Anyway, thanks for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you, Dave.
That is the very kind and gracious Carmen Cabrera. Such a fun conversation with her. I couldn't be more happy that we were finally able to schedule that interview and that it turned out even better than I would have expected. And I don't know why I'm even surprised, because she's very, very cool and super talented. And when you have such an interesting background as she does, and you're very kind and gracious, you end up with a good show. And that's one of them. If you want to keep in touch with Carmen and you want to see what her career is all about, you can always go to carmencabrera.com. And don't forget, there's a dash in there, CARMEN-CABRERA.com. If you want to follow her on Instagram, it's MC Carmen Cabrera. No dashes needed. No Twitter. There's just no Twitter. So don't even go looking for one. And if you want to go see her live in July, she will be in El Laurel de Apalo at Repertorio Español. My Spanish pronunciation is horrible. That's 138 East 27th Street in New York City. That'll be in July, and I'll have a link for that in the show notes for this episode, as well as all the links that I've been talking about all show long. That's there for you. And Carmen is there for us. I want to thank Carmen for hosting and for being very cool and for a great conversation. I love conversation. This wouldn't be a show without conversation. And all it takes is a fine dance partner, and you got a great, great time. All right, that about does it for another edition of Bring Your Own Lunch. Gotta thank Banooba. Banooba.net, Banooba.net. That is the band you're listening to right now. They're great. Go see them live. Find out where they will be playing. Go to their website. Look at the schedule. Buy their music. Download their music. Be part of the Banooba experience. And don't forget to go to our website, bringyourownlunch.com. Send me a personal email, Dave, at bringyourownlunch.com. You can like us on Facebook.com/bringyourownlunch. You can follow us on Twitter at BYOL Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at bringyourownlunch. And as always, if you'd like to help us out, if you'd like to make us a little bit stronger in the world of telling people who we are, go to iTunes or Stitcher, rate, review, subscribe to the show, and tell all your friends to tune in whenever, because this thing is available all the time. New episodes every week, of course, but you can just check out the back episodes, and they're all good. They really are. So tell people. That would be awesome. Stay tuned for Jimmy Jack's Cow Punch Hour, followed by Mansoor and the Fish. And until next week, when I have another great guest lined up, this is Dave. I'll see you next Wednesday. If it doesn't show up on Thursday or Friday at this point, I don't know.